Hello, everyone. We'll be getting started in a few minutes. Welcome to our webinar procurement. You know what, Dee, you and I are the only ones who are here.
Oh, okay. Well,
I see 6. Okay, 6 attendees. All right, here we go.
they're coming in. They're coming
they're coming in now. Oh, boom, 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 boom.
Welcome, welcome.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. We'll be getting started momentarily. We're letting all the participants slide in, I suppose. And we'll get started exactly up. There is 12 noon. Hello and welcome to the SCORE Long Beach South Bay chapters procurement webinar. And it's about everything you're going to need to know to get into those wonderful government contracts for the Olympics, the big games, all the things that are going on. I want to introduce to you our extraordinary host, Dee Ellsworth. She is amazing. I'll just start there. Besides running a successful business, she's CEO of Wear the Promise, one of the best fulfillment houses for all your swag needs, but also she is one of our extraordinarily excellent mentors and workshop presenters. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Dee. Thank you.
Thanks, Ro. Thanks, Rosemary. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today for this procurement workshop. The purpose of today is to get you guys ready for an introduction to government procurement as it relates to Olympic opportunities and just expanding your business. So thank you for taking the time today as business owners to join us. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so as Rosemary said, I am Dee Ellsworth. I'm a certified SCORE mentor. I started mentoring as a result of having a mentor, and after helping me build my business, he suggested that I help others do the same. And so I thoroughly enjoy being able to give back in that way. My specialty in mentoring is helping small businesses in their startup phase. I have an over 20-year history in or experience in operations and account management. So I come from corporate into the creative world of branding and helping other small businesses establish their business and their digital footprint. So SCORE is a distinguished all-volunteer 501c nonprofit organization. We have over 10,000 dedicated volunteers across the globe with over 280 local chapters nationwide. SCORE itself was founded in 1964, with our chapter, the Long Beach chapter, being founded in 2019. So we are very happy to have you guys here. One of our biggest missions is to provide these free educational resources to help you build your business. Okay, so why are we here today? What are our objectives for today? We are going to understand the basics of government procurement. We're going to learn how to identify procurement opportunities. We're going to review our funding options as well as navigate the certification process. All right, so why pursue government contracts? Some of the benefits of doing business with the government includes having consistent revenue for your business, having competitive advantages through small business certifications, as well as building your credibility. Winning a government contract significantly enhances your business reputation and establishes credibility in the marketplace. Government agencies are considered the most reliable and prestigious clients. So if you're fortunate enough to do business with them, then you're pretty much skilled and considered successful in delivering services in the commercial side. And just a side note, the Olympics, the World Cup, the Super Bowl will all be held here in the SoCal area over the next 3 years with the combined, just an estimate. This isn't even, we don't even know how much money is coming in, but with these major events slotted to hit LA over the next 3 years, is projected an estimated $18 billion in revenue is going to hit our local economy. So what we're doing is educating our small business to make sure you get your piece of the pie and that you know where to look for these opportunities. Okay. So government spending. The fiscal year for 2023, California's total state expenditures were approximately $467.6 billion, with the most commonly procured goods and services being office supplies and furniture, IT equipment, medical supplies, consulting and IT services, construction and maintenance, transportation and logistics. So when you're thinking What does the government buy? The government has daily operational expenses, just like you have in your business. They need copy paper, they need pens, they need highlighters, they need the same things to run their offices as you need to run your business. So what exactly is government procurement? It can be scary and some people are thrown off by, well, what exactly is procurement? It's just the act of the government that it's just the act of the process by which the federal, state, and local government agency acquire goods, services, construction projects to fulfill public needs. It involves purchasing from private sector businesses through contracts which are awarded based on established rules, regulations, procedures, which ensures transparency, competition, and fair access for all qualified vendors. So simply put, the government needs goods and services. They put out contract instead of going to Staples, Amazon, ordering through those means. They may put out a contract or a bid for small businesses to be able to provide those goods and services. So far, any questions? Because it is going to be a lot. This is a high level overview of what we're getting into today. We won't go deep in the woods. But any questions so far on what procurement is?
And do me a favor throughout the session, if you want to write your questions in the chat, I will hang on to them. And when she gets to our next question break, I will read them aloud and we will go through them. No questions now?
All right.
Is this federal level or state local from Harry L?
It's going to be all three. We'll touch really quickly on all three.
Thank you, Harry. And we're off and running.
All right. So federal government spending, you may wonder, well, if the government can just, they have admin people, why don't they just go to Staples, get what's needed? Why don't they just contact Boeing directly for what's needed? The federal government has a law, there's a law that requires the government to spend a certain percentage of its procurement dollars with small businesses annually. The requirement is mandated by the Small Business Act. And the SBA, the Small Business Administration, is the overseer of that law. For example, 23% of all federal contracting dollars must be awarded to small businesses. Within that 23%, there are sub-goals and subcategories. 5% must be spent with women-owned small businesses. 5% must be spent with small disadvantaged businesses. 3% must go to HUB zone certified businesses, and another 3% must be spent with service disabled veteran-owned businesses. Now, this is a federal law, not a state or local law, but some of the state and local agencies do follow similar guidelines. So one of the main questions that we often get is, well, does the government buy what I sell? Will they need my services? Will they need the products that I have? The next few slides will give us a look as to what the government actually buys. With the first slide being goods, they're purchasing, again, office supplies, paper, furniture, computers, printers. When we're talking about the government, just please understand that they're people, just like Rosemary, just like me, just like you. The government employs people. These are people that work for the federal government, that work for our city and local agencies, and they need certain things to do their job. They're purchasing medical supplies, vaccines, hospital equipment, pharmaceuticals. They're purchasing vehicles, the police cars, the ambulances, fire trucks, construction materials, cement, steel, other supplies for infrastructure. They're purchasing uniforms for the city workers, clothing for military and first responders. They're purchasing services. If you're providing IT services such as software, cybersecurity, or IT support, construction and maintenance, building schools, roads, bridges, public facilities, professional services, accounting, legal. I've been seeing a lot of consulting opportunities coming up. Food services, catering for the various meetings or office events, food services for some of our correctional facilities and our military bases, transportation and logistics, shipping goods, managing fleets, public transportation. And some of the specialized needs, environmental services, waste management, scientific equipment and research in the form of lab supplies, testing services, or training and education, employee training, online courses, educational materials. And again, I've seen a lot of consultation opportunities, and training and education, especially training around culturalism, cultural sensitivity training due to the climate that we're currently in. Emerging needs. One of the things that's going to be highly sought after as we approach the big games and relates to the Olympics is sustainability and green products. So energy efficient technology, electric vehicles, biodegradable packaging. Just a side note, I have a new client who produces handmade items, and he's totally redone his packaging to be more biodegradable, to work with the environment, to be more sustainable. Disaster response supplies, temporary shelters, bottled waters. With the fires that just recently happened, if your business is able to act quickly and supply these things, you are in very high demand at this time. And a tip for small businesses, research what agencies commonly purchase through sam.gov, that's the federal site, state or either your state procurement portals or historical contract databases. Chances are they're buying what you're selling or something very closely related. So another objective of these workshops that we are holding monthly is to get our small business community to think outside of your everyday business needs and kind of show you how to expand your client base and get you creative in what you can provide. Okay, any questions
Yes,
there?
we do. First one is from Dan Alpern. He says, where do I get help being certified as SDVOSB? I already have my VA card and self-identify in sam.gov. In a previous webinar, I was told to register with SBA, but no one ever responds, trying for last year through LA and Ventura office contracts. Thanks for any help.
Absolutely. So we are going to talk about certifications today. Great that you're already registered in SAM. The SBA did undergo a new platform last year for their certifications. So they have a new certification link, which I will send out. And just so everyone knows, we will be sending out this slide deck with resource materials. And one of the things that the SBA did last year was revamp their certification process. So it's all on one platform. And it's a lot smoother and a lot more streamlined than what it was in the past.
My next question from Francine Erico is, do you see the current downsizing of federal government agencies affecting state government and SBA guidelines?
Actually, no. I'm in the procurement sites often, daily, and every day there are new opportunities coming out to all the platforms. So opportunities are still hitting.
And from Harry L., doesn't having the complexities of the procurement process just increase and add to the cost of product services being purchased by the government? I'd like to answer that one, if I may.
Absolutely.
People have said that. Why doesn't the government just buy from Amazon? One call, one order, one delivery. And the concept of what the government does with pushing these RFPs to small businesses is rather extraordinary. When you think the job creation for the economy starts at the small business level, 64% of all new jobs come from small businesses. The economic growth driver comes from small businesses. Local investments all happen from small businesses. And the GDP contribution to small businesses is 44% of the national GDP. So whatever little extra expenditure it costs for them to process these RFPs, and in the scheme of things, it's a small percentage. You really are driving the economy, driving the communities, and driving your workforce into success. So I hope they never, ever, ever consider this anything but a brilliant concept and way to keep you, the entrepreneurs, and the communities, and everybody in the success page. Okay, we got
Absolutely.
our health and life insurance needed.
With the search engines I will provide, you can definitely go and search. There's keyword searches you can do. There are health consultation services that I've seen. Yes.
Okay. And Dr. Anthony Lightfoot says, D, how are you going to send the streamlined procurement process so that we can go on website or email and fill it out?
I will be sending you this slide deck and resource materials that have clickable links, so you're able to take actionable steps to set up your profiles across the different procurement platforms. So all the links will be clickable, so you'll know exactly where to go to get started.
Okay. Oh, Carol and Tao said, I meant health and life insurance agents, but I think you addressed that.
Yeah, there's you can with the platforms that I'll send out, Carol. I think it was Carol. You
Yeah.
can search health and life services or insurance needs to see what opportunities specifically come up for that.
Okay. Good. All right. We're caught up. Thank you.
All right. Thank you guys for the questions. Great interaction. Okay, so levels of procurement. I think this came up in one of the last rounds. So there are 3 levels of government procurement. At the local level, your city and county wide, the state level, we're in California, so the state of California Transportation Health Agency needs, and the federal levels, the System for Award Management, which is SAM.gov, as well as the GSA, the General Services Administration. And these are just some key terms. And this is more so of an overview for beginners. Someone coming in, just getting started, not knowing anything about procurement. Some of the key terms that you'll consistently hear over and over are RFPs, which is a request for proposal, a request for quote, which is an RFQ, an IFB, an invitation for bid, a prime contractor. Now, the prime contractor is the one that is the main business that does all the interactions with the contracting officer. They are directly responsible for delivering the goods and services of that contract. A subcontractor works under the prime. They are the primary business that the prime hires to help complete a portion of that contract. So the subcontractor has no direct connection with the contract officer. You work directly with the prime. And there are certain set-asides. So part of having some of the certification advantages is you're able to go in and search for these contract set-asides. There are small business set-asides, women-owned set-asides, veteran-owned set-asides. So what does that mean? Say, for instance, you're in SAM.gov. There's an opportunity to supply insurance services. You're not competing against State Farm. You're not competing against Mercury if it's specifically set aside for a small business. You're only competing against others in that designated category. Okay. So here are some different contract types. Fixed price. A fixed price contract is an agreement between 2 parties on one set price that will not change regardless of time, cost, labor. I'm going to quote you this price. I'm going to deliver the service or the good. You're going to pay that price. A cost reimbursement contract is an agreement between 2 parties where one party pays the other for allowable cost incurred during the project. The final price of the project is determined when the work is completed or on a specific date set in the contract. Time and materials contract is a legally binding agreement that outlines how a client pays a contractor for a project that usually includes the labor or hourly wages, material costs, service fees, etc., and is often used in construction and software projects. So the primary difference between a cost reimbursement contract versus a time and materials contract is all in how the compensation is structured and the cost control. So cost reimbursement contracts allow for allowable costs incurred during the project plus a fee, whereas time and materials may be actual hours worked and materials used, but they often have a not to exceed limit on a time and materials contract, meaning you can exceed a certain threshold. Okay, so any questions on that section?
I have one question from Kendra Harris. She asks, I'm a photographer and documentary filmmaker and workshop host. Are there procurement opportunities for this?
Absolutely. So if you're a photographer, I know one of the government agencies right now is redoing a museum. So they're looking for photography work in regards to redoing the museum as well as merchandising, and that this is a different contract, merchandising being rebuilt website for, I believe that may be the city of LA. So what is a website besides content and copy? It's interactive visual, graphics, photos. So if you go on the procurement agency sites and search photography, you may find some opportunities. Absolutely.
That's it. Continue, please.
All right. Great questions, you guys. So where do I find these contracts? At the local level, you can start with RAMP, which is the Regional Alliance Marketplace for Procurement, RAMP LA. And again, the slide deck will be emailed out to everyone. This is a clickable link that will take you directly to RAMP. Long Beach Buys. LA County has its own website. At the state level, you have Cal eProcure, where you can also become certified, a certified small business on Cal eProcure. And at the federal level, sam.gov. These will all be clickable links. And just note that there's no one platform where you can go and have all of your information disseminated across all the various platforms. You literally, unfortunately, have to sign up and create a profile with every agency that you're interested in doing business with. So vendor registration, what do I need to get started? Each agency does have their own registration criteria, but the basic requirements are your business name, owner contact information. If you're certifying that you are a woman-owned small business, in order to get that designation, you have to be 51% majority owner as a woman to hold a woman-owned small business designation. You're going to need your tax ID or EIN code. And to get set up in the systems, you're going to need what's called either NAICS codes on the federal side, or for the state of California, your UNSPSC codes, which are simply designations for the goods and services that you provide. So you can go into these government sites and do keyword searches, insurance, IT, apparel, whatever it is you're selling. You may get more hits if you properly identify the code that your business falls under and type in that code. And I will be providing those links out to you as well as to where you can find those codes that identify your business. And you are able to list as many codes that apply to you in your profiles. Another helpful tip, watch any tutorial video for the site that you're registering on to make it a smoother process. Most of the videos are anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes. I think the longest video I've sat on is 30 minutes, but it's all straight to the point, walking you through the system, step by step, screen by screen. It's worth the time. Evaluating opportunities once you do find them. So when you're searching for contract opportunities, you want to search for bids that align with the product and service that you're currently offering. If you have a vision for your business or what you hope to sell and project in the future, awesome. I always counsel my mentees on having a growth strategy, a growth plan, and having vision. However, when you're registering to do business with the government, you want to make sure that your profile is updated with what you're currently providing. So start with the scope of work. When you're pulling solicitations, I immediately go to the scope of work to see if this is something that my team and I can actually handle and do. I review and understand the evaluation criteria, meaning how will this contract be awarded? What's the selection process they're going to use to award this contract? Are there any special insurance requirements needed? Is there an opportunity to partner with another business, or can I act as a subcontractor? You don't have to always be the primary. You can partner with someone. I heavily recommend teaming and partnering on these types of opportunities, and follow the submission guidelines exactly as laid out. When you're preparing proposals, when you get to the proposal stage, the contract will literally specify how many pages not to exceed. If they ask you for a 5-page proposal, don't send them 6, you're automatically disqualified. If they ask you to write your proposal in a 12-point font, don't give them a 10, don't give them a 14, you're automatically disqualified. They will literally lay out for you step by step what it is they're looking for you to submit a winning proposal. And ask questions. Most of the contracts will have a question and answer period, meaning you can ask the contracting officer as many questions as you want up until the cutoff time. Always ask questions, even if it's who's the current incumbent, what's the current contract number, what's the current contract value. That gives you insight as to how you can price your product or service. And it's all public information. If they don't specifically give you the information, they'll tell you where to go to find it because it's public knowledge. Some of the key requirements to note: you do not need to possess any certifications to bid on open contract opportunities. However, holding certifications can be helpful as it provides a competitive advantage. Always read the entire solicitation and make sure you fully understand what it is you're bidding on, because again, as the prime, you are responsible for that contract. Submit your questions and final RFPs or RFQs as outlined in the solicitation. Implement a tracking system, either Google Docs or get a project management tool. Monday is free. ClickUp has a free version. Implement some type of tracking system for yourself to stay organized. Read all solicitations amendments carefully. And sometimes as part of the submission process, you may need to acknowledge that you've read all the amendments as part of the process. And follow up, follow up, follow up. Persistence pays off. Some people ask, well, how will the contracting officer know that I'm interested? Don't just submit your proposal and then hands off, wait to hear back from them. No, 2 weeks later, get in that inbox. Hey, just checking status. Hey, want to make sure you receive this. Stay in front of them. Pursue them. Let them know that you're here and you're interested. Okay, what questions do you guys have?
First, I have been searching music publishing opportunities to no avail. Any suggestions?
Keep searching. Music opportunities. I would say keep searching, or either check to see past contracts if that's a good or service that the government has procured in the past. And if so, they will give you who the business was that won the contract. Reach out to them to see if they have any tips. Introduce yourself as a business owner and start to build that rapport to see how they were able to secure that contract, or ask the contracting agency or procurement specialist, do they have a need for that service coming up?
Okay, that was from Darcy Candida Mobley. Sorry, I didn't say. Next question from Sarah Leedy. My experience so far with state of California is that there is an expectation that grantees will pay their own costs up front, then submit invoices to the state entity for reimbursement. Is this typical? And does SBA have any assistance or advice for how to navigate this from a liquid capital perspective?
Yes, that is typical. So one thing about the government is, yes, they may have a 30-day or 45-day net payment, meaning you are responsible for funding your contract up front, and then you do have to submit your invoice to be reimbursed for that, for the product or service. But one thing about the government is they always pay. So we will be having a workshop later this year that deals with funding. Once I've won a contract, how do I fund it? And we're bringing in a funding specialist. So make sure you're staying connected with us so you don't miss that workshop. Make sure that you have funds available to pay that contract. Or if you're providing services and you're working with a service provider, you may want to negotiate terms with them. Let them know you're a government contractor. Your award letter may be enough to say, hey, can I negotiate a 30-day net term with you? Once I'm paid, you'll be paid. Or you could take your award letter and leverage that with your bank. Go to your bank, your award letter basically tells them you've won. As long as you deliver the goods and services, you're going to be paid. And that, in some cases, is enough.
Good idea. From Francine Erico, does the California government hire nonprofits who may provide educational services on DEI and cultural understanding?
Again, I've seen a lot of consultation, culturalism trainings, leadership and coaching trainings coming out. It just depends on the opportunity and what they're looking for. So I would definitely go on Cal eProcure, which is one of the links that's going to be in the resource documents, and search for that specifically.
Would you find more on the state or local level? Because I know the feds are eliminating that as a tracking.
I would check both. I would start with
Yeah,
state level, because the federal level is that right now. So start at
yeah,
your state and local level.
good point. D from Dr. Anthony Lightfoot. Can I get you to be my score mentor?
Well, Dr. Anthony, I am a certified score mentor. Part of the resource materials going out will have in there a link for you to request a score mentor. So click on the link. You never know who you'll get paired up with, but all of us are awesome. Trust me.
From Francis and Francina Rico again. I am a certified grant writer who has written very large federal grants. Do companies seek out professionals to prepare RFPs and be more competitive?
Absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, if you go on some online forum, was that Francine?
Pardon? Yeah, Francine, right.
Francine, if you go on some of the online forums, even Facebook, there are some other online forums. There are people, yes, willing to partner or pay for people to write their proposal, or help them write grants specifically to have that competitive edge. We recommend, and I know not to your business is definitely needed, because I encourage people, if it's not in your wheelhouse and you have more money than time, definitely outsource it. However, it is a service that you can learn and do yourself. But yes, Francine, there are people that will pay for your services. You
And
just need a strong marketing plan.
And why you come to these webinars is apparent here, because Dr. Anthony Lightfoot is reaching out to Francine because he needs a grant writer.
There you go. Network in the chat, you guys. Network in the chat.
I call that score magic.
Yes.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Okay, continue on.
Okay, here we go. So preparing a competitive bid. What are some components of a strong proposal? Your technical ability. Have you done this before? What was your success rate? Pricing. Are you competitive with others in the industry? Past performance. How successful were you at delivering on time and on budget? To highlight your unique value proposition. Just like with anything else, any commercial side of your business, what makes you unique and what sets you apart from someone else doing the same thing? Helpful tips, research past contract awards. Again, they'll be in the resource material. So make sure you guys are reading the resource materials that's sent out. Look up past contract awards, see what they were priced at and what the scope was. Ask the contracting officer for the incumbent information. Again, it's public knowledge. Research what the agency has previously paid for the same product or service, so you're not just out there guessing, willy-nilly winging it. Don't wing it in business, folks. Okay, some common mistakes to avoid. Missing deadlines, which is why you want to implement some type of tracking system, even if it's just tracking due dates and deadlines on your phone. Ignoring detailed instructions. Again, follow the submission requirements exactly as laid out. Give them only what they're asking for. Overlooking required certifications and or licenses. If you're mandated to have a certain insurance requirement in place, you must prove that you have that certain requirement in place. Not carefully following the submission instructions and not requesting a debrief. This is the number one thing that that people fail to do. If you submit for an opportunity and you're not awarded that contract, always ask the contracting officer for a debrief. That simply means they're either going to give you a written statement as to why they didn't select you, or they may even schedule a call with you to talk to you face to face to tell you why they didn't select you. Don't be afraid. Use it as constructive criticism to make your proposal better and stronger for the next time around. Always ask for a debrief. Helpful tips. Always ask for a debrief. It's your opportunity to understand why you weren't selected and to improve your chances for the future. Okay, so here are some common certifications. Again, SBA, they've revamped their entire certification process last year. They're projecting that you could have an answer or designation within 90 days. I can tell you from experience, I got my designation in about 2 weeks. So they are cleaning up that process and making it more streamlined. You can become certified as a woman-owned small business, the 8A Business Development Program through SBA. Be careful with the 8A program. That is literally only a 9-year program. And once those 9 years are over, you're done, you're out, you graduate. So if you're just starting out in government procurement, 8A isn't something you want to initially shoot for. Service disabled veteran-owned small businesses, California Small Business Hub Zone certifications, disabled veteran-owned small business. The list goes on and on. So this isn't even all the designations you can receive. This is just a few. So what questions do you guys have now?
First one, Dan has posted several things to check out on there. So everyone take a look in your chat. And as you guys know, the chat disappears after the session is over. So make sure there are several people who are promoting what they do. We have another one from B. Palmer on their consulting business. So that's cool. But if you are interested, make sure you copy paste out of there before we're done. From Print Renegades, our company makes custom apparel for promotion uniforms, selling anyone need merchandise made.
Network in the chat, folks. Copy that
Okay.
info down.
Yeah,
And for you, who was that role?
It's called Print Renegades. I'm not sure if they were asking about, I think they're just promoting their service within the chat, maybe. I thought she was
Okay,
a question.
awesome.
Oh, no, she
Promote that
says
in
that,
the
yeah. And then I have one from Juan Carlos Guerra. How about courier services and logistics management? Do they award contracts?
Absolutely, absolutely. I would start on Ramp LA as well as Cal eProcure for those opportunities. That's the state and local level.
Okay, so and Dr. Lightfoot is promoting his companies that serve veterans, homelessness, mental illness, and substance abuse, and he write books. So he put out a post on that. All right, we're good. We're caught up.
Awesome. And for the print shop, just so you know, and I'm just throwing it out there, last year, fourth quarter last year, there was a small business, I'm air quotes, small business in Long Beach that won a $9 million contract providing custom printed apparel services to one of the agencies. Literally here in Long Beach, small business, $9 million custom print. There's definitely opportunity out there for you. Okay, so funding your contracts. As a small business, funding is a crucial component for success. For the successful execution of your government contract, beginners often face cash flow challenges due to upfront costs and delayed government payments. So let's explore some common funding options to help you manage your contract commitments. And you want to get funding secured ahead of time, or at least have an idea of where you can get funding before you bid any contract. The worst thing possible is to be deemed unreliable and have to give the contract back because you bid, you won, and now you have no clue how you're going to fund it, and you have to give the contract back. That will leave a negative mark. Doesn't mean that the government won't ever do business with you again, but they will maybe proceed with caution. So some common funding options: personal funds, crowdfunding, family, friends, business credit cards. Don't recommend, but some people have done it. Business loans, SBA loans, lines of credit, invoice factoring, contract financing. I have my award. Can you float me this money, Mr. Banker? And once I deliver on the goods and services, I'll pay you back. Microloans, grants, partner with the prime contractor. So, and rather than acting as the prime and being responsible, do subcontract work. Let the prime figure it out. Crowdfunding or investors. But again, stay connected with us. We're going to bring in an expert to go over these options in detail. So managing your finances. Proper financial management is key to running any successful business, not just government contracting. Create a detailed project budget based on the scope of work given. Track all your contract related expenses, not just your cost of goods, but your time. How long is it taking you to source and seek these opportunities? How long did it take you to write the proposal? Make sure you guys are tracking time as well. Maintain a cash reserve and work with a financial advisor experienced in government contracts. And here are some funding resources. There are many, but just to name a few to get you started, SBA loans. You can literally just go out to sba.gov. They have a whole site, section of the site for funding government contracts. DGS support, which is the Department of General Services for California, or either CDFIs and microloans for small business and small business friendly banks. Okay, so what questions do you guys have now in terms of funding?
From Mia Knox, if you have your biz registered in another state, but will plan eventually registering in California, is there a minimum time to be in business in California before being awarded a contract?
It just depends on the guidelines of that contract. Everyone is different. When we did the procurement workshop last month with the state of California, he recommended being in business 2 years here in California.
From Prince Renegade, where can I find a step-by-step process to placing a bid?
At the end of this presentation.
Okay. And Damika Hutchins sent out a post on her company provides grief mentoring and spiritual life coaching. So you can check that out. And Sarah Leedy said, just to confirm, are there links included in the deck to all the sites mentioned for searching on RFPs and so on?
Absolutely. Everything that I'm mentioning today will be, you'll have this deck with the links you've already seen, as well as a resource guide, which is a separate document giving you even more resources. Absolutely. We want you guys to win and succeed, so I'm giving you as much information as possible.
That's it.
All right. So building relationships. The government is just like any other business that you are pursuing. How you guys are networking in the chat, hopefully, like Rosemary said, the chat will go away when we close out. Snip, 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 copy and paste, copy and paste. You want to network with the agencies like that as well. And one way to do that is attend networking events, either virtually or in person. If you go on sam.gov, I know for sure sam.gov has virtual vendor partner days. You can search for vendor day, you can search for marketing, and it will be online, an online network event, if you will. Read the agency's strategic plan on their website to learn about what their needs will be. Always mirror the verbiage that the agency uses. So if you're in a room full of procurement specialists, small business liaisons, talk their language, speak the lingo back to them. Join small business programs, your local chambers of commerce. Opportunity is all around. Build, don't be afraid to get out there and put yourself in front of new people. I won't say the only way to grow, but one of the best ways to grow your business is to network, network, network. You should constantly have a goal for getting in front of new people, if not weekly, then monthly. Stay organized. For every minute spent organizing, an hour is earned. Not sure who said that. Oops. My presentation. Sorry, guys. Uh-oh. If you're seeing my dog, I'm sorry. We're having a little technical difficulty. Here we go. See, I'm real people, just like you are. So here we go. Stay organized. Calendar all your deadlines and due dates. Implement a tracking system for bid submissions. Track your losses as well as your wins. Submit only what is requested. Dealing with the government isn't a time to be extra. Don't give them any extra information. Tell them what they want to know. Follow the 90-10 rule. Submit 90% of bids, respond to 10% of pre-solicitations and sources sought notices. And what are those? That just means this is something that the agency may have a need for in the future, but they don't have the budget for right now. You want to respond to those because not all small businesses, and at last research, there were 65,000, I believe, which isn't a lot compared to the number of people in the US. Only 65,000 small businesses were registered on sam.gov. You're not competing against 65,000 people when you're applying to any one solicitation. So keep that in mind. The pool may be much smaller than you think. And by responding to pre-solicitation and sources sought notices, you're telling that agency that as a small business, you're interested in bidding that contract, which means it's a higher chance that they'll set it aside for small businesses or for one-owned small businesses. So we're not competing against the Boeings. We're not competing against the Lockheed Martins. You're competing strictly against other small businesses. So it's important to respond to those notices. Make sure you're keeping your company contacts, your data, and your records updated. Keep your capability statement up to date. What is a capability statement? It's simply a resume for your business, and I will be sending out a template that you can customize for your business. And maintain accurate financial records and price sheets. Some contracts will ask you for your price sheet. Okay, so leveraging resources. Don't go it alone. Stay in community, seek help and guidance. Sign up for a SCORE mentor. Again, we're all awesome. Go onto the SCORE website, search mentors. I believe it asks you for your zip code first, and it will align you with someone that is in your area and aligned with your business needs. These are some of the resource partners that we work with, the Apex Accelerators. They are excellent government counselors and assistant people, free support services via Procure LA, and of course, free resources from the SBA. So we're getting into the wrap-up phase now. So the importance of preparation. Success in government contracting starts with thorough preparation. This includes understanding your business capabilities, securing necessary certifications, researching opportunities, and developing a detailed plan. You sign up for a SCORE mentor. One of the first things, whether it's me, Rosemary, we're all going to ask you one question. Do you have a business plan? Do you have a plan? Government contracting is no different. You need to have a plan. Preparation ensures you are competitive and ready to meet the demands of government contracts from bid submission to project execution. Compliance. Government contracts come with strict rules and requirements, from bid formatting to reporting. Staying compliant not only helps you avoid disqualification, but it also builds trust and credibility with the agencies. Regularly review the regulations, maintain accurate documentation, and meet deadlines to help uphold a strong professional reputation. And lastly, persistence. Government contracting can be challenging, especially for beginners. Success often requires resilience in the face of setbacks, whether it's a rejected bid or navigating a complex process. But again, mentors are in place, ready to help. Every application and interaction builds experience, so keep refining your approach, leveraging your resources, and learning from each opportunity. So, are you ready? Do you feel like you're ready? And if you're ready, here are the next steps to take. So someone asked for a step-by-step checklist. I made it actionable for you. So if you don't take anything else away from this, when I send out the slide deck, go directly to what is this, page 39 and the next page. This is your step-by-step guide for getting started. Focus on one thing at a time. Don't try to do it all at once. These check boxes are here for a reason. Sign up for a SCORE mentor. Check. Pursue relevant certifications. Check. Register in the government procurement systems. Check. Implement a contracting management system. Check. Research funding opportunities. Check. Understand your target market. So for the print company that's in the chat, I would recommend, along with others, LAUSD, all the school organizations, they need uniforms. That's some contracts are government dollars, providing school uniforms. The National Guard orders training apparel in large quantities, bulk quantities. That could be one of your ideal clients. Build your capability statement. Check. Attend networking events. Learn the rules and regulations by reading the FAR. And prepare to bid and respond to solicitations. This is your roadmap. We have laid it out for you in clear, actionable steps. If you don't get anything else from this, print it out, check it off, one thing at a time. And these are all the reference materials that we are going to send out today. You're going to get a frequently asked question sheets for the questions that you didn't even think to ask today. You're going to get a sample capability statement that you can tailor and customize for your business. You're going to get a funding checklist for government contracting, and you're going to get a website resource list where there will be clickable links for you to go directly to the different procurement sites. Is it an all exhaustive list? No. I'm sure you're going to find opportunities that I haven't identified. We welcome you to share that information with us. And definitely stay connected with us as we're having these workshops monthly. And that's it, folks. That's what we have for you today.
We have let's see, Juan Carlos posted his company Delivertron, providing next day overnight courier services or same day. Good to know. I was looking for one not that long ago, so just letting you know that's posted. Sarah Leedy asks, if you have two or more very different NACE's strengths, should you write separate capability statements for each?
No, list each strength on that one capability statement, and there is a section in there for you to list. I would list no more than 5 of your top NAICS codes.
Does Carol Lintow asks, does having previous government civilian services help with getting a contract?
It doesn't hurt, but each contract will have its own evaluation criteria as to how that contract officer will award the contract. So you just have to read the evaluation criteria.
Okay. Oh, that's it on the questions. I want to remind everybody we have a workshop tomorrow on your pitching. There's a couple of pitch contests coming up we'll also tell you about, but that's always good to see how people present, always good for you to be able to organize your elevator pitch in a very professional manner. So check that out. Dee's getting lots of amazing thank you Dee's all over the place. So all good. And thank you, Dee, for a wonderful, wonderful presentation. Boy, that was good.
Well, thank you for hosting us. And again, thank you guys for showing up and joining us today. Even taking the time to come to workshops like this rather than working in your business, it shows that you're serious and you're working on your business. Don't be afraid. Everything that we do, it's a scary process, but as one of my mentors, one of my SCORE mentors tells me, do it anyway. The more you do it, the less afraid you become.
There you go. And with that, everyone have a wonderful afternoon and look forward to seeing you tomorrow night. Oh, no, actually,
It's tonight. Today is Thursday.
Sorry about that. It is Thursday. We'll see you tonight or see you at the next webinar. Take care.
Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.